What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'll be showing you guys the best settings to use in Modern Warfare 3. And excuse my voice, I'm a little bit congested and sick right now, but the YouTube grind stays real. So I play on tactical flipped. This is all just personal preference. Flip, pretty much what it means is that I will be shooting and aiming in with my L1 and R1, my bumpers, and throwing tacticals and grenades with my triggers. Controller vibration I like to keep off. I feel like that can mess your shot up if you do have it on. And then we will go to the dead zone inputs. There's a couple cool new things that they added. So let's go through this real quick. Let's do this test stick dead zone. Pretty much you're going to want to turn this on, and this will show you the best dead zones, left stick min and right stick min, you should be using for your controller. So let's turn that on. It's on 0, 0. I'm going to move my left stick around. You see -1, -4. Let's turn that off real quick. Let's bump it up to 2 each. Move it around again. -1, -2. Okay, let's bump both up to 3. Move it again. -1. Okay, we almost have it. Let's bump it up one more. Nope. Still close. All right, there we go. Let's go. 0, 0. So 4, 4 is what I should be using for this controller right now. This could be different because if you just use this controller to start using it, it might be a very low one. But let's say I've been using it for 6 months, it might need to be a little bit higher left stick and right stick min. So it's really awesome that you could like test that out. Left stick and right stick max are both going to be 99. And then this is also a pretty cool testing feature as well, where you can turn this all the way up. And what this means is you have to press harder on your L2 button to aim in or R2 to shoot, and you can see the graph right here. So we want to keep this on 0. Let's reset it to oops. Oh god, that's not good. Let's reset that to default and then turn it all the way down to 0, because if you do that, it's going to be quicker reaction time that your controller picks up that you're trying to aim in or shoot, and then that could win you a gunfight, lose you a gunfight, win or lose you a game. So let's move that on. We have 661 is what I've been playing on since like a Black Ops 4. Very good sensitivity multiplayer. That's not too important for unless you're ground vehicle sensitivity and like other stuff. And then vertical aim assist don't really change this at all. But then I use dynamic aim assist. Dynamic aim assist has been in the game since I think Modern Warfare 2019, and it's probably the best one to use for multiplayer in Warzone. Yes, it could be different, but dynamic aim assist is very good, and pretty much every single pro player, 95% of them, and the YouTubers, the streamers, all use dynamic in multiplayer Call of Duty. So make sure you have your aim assist on. My first game on, I had it off, and I got turned on my first life in this game. So make sure you have the aim assist on. And yes, aim assist is pretty strong in this game. I would say it's a little bit weaker than some other Call of Duties, but it's still very good. So if you are a mouse and keyboard player, you're probably going to hate aim assist. Automatic sprint. Pretty much in the Call of Duty League, you cannot have auto attack sprint on. It's G8, which means gentlemen's agreements to not use. But when I'm practicing, I'll keep it off. But if I'm just chilling, having fun, and I do not want to destroy my controller too much, I will turn on automatic tactical sprint to where I just push it forward, and that's all I need to do. And I'll be sprinting full speed. So, but let's keep that off for now. And then I will keep my single tap run on because it's just easy to use. This is also G8 in the Call of Duty League as well. There's a lot of things G8, but pretty much it makes it so you just single tap and you start sprinting already. Grounded mantle is going to be off. Partial for the automatic airborne mantle, and then automatic air mantle off as well. So I'm not just climbing on random things while I'm trying to jump shot and move around in gunfights. Got the trigger on for plunging underwater. We're going to keep going down right here. Weapon mount activation. I personally use this off because you can't mount in the Call of Duty League either. So, but if you want to mount, you can just ADS, or you can ADS melee. You can do double tap ADS. So there's different options to have for mounting. But personally, I keep it off. And then keep going down here. This interact stuff will mostly be for like Warzone and other things. So I just keep it. It will mess up your movement in Modern Warfare 3. And time for the fun part, the graphics settings. So I will keep on-demand text streaming on just because we're on console and PS5. On PC, I will probably turn this off. Well, I will turn this off just to make sure I'm getting as many frames as possible. So I'll just have it on for now. It's not too big of a deal on console. But then I'll turn reward motion blur and weapon motion blur off, because when you're spinning around the map, you're looking at everything. It's kind of like part of the graphics settings. So I will keep on-demand text streaming on just because we're on console and PS5. On PC, I will probably turn this off. Well, I will turn this off just to make sure I'm getting as many frames as possible. So I'll just have it on for now. It's not too big of a deal on console. But then I'll turn reward motion blur and weapon motion blur off, because when you're spinning around the map, you're looking at everything. It's kind of like it looks like you're the Flash running through like a portal and everything. You're spinning around and everything is very blurry. So it could definitely mess you up. And when I use it, I just feel like I don't feel good. My head I get like a headache using it. Film grain, you want to have this on 0. If you turn this up too much, it will look very grainy and it will look like an old video game, an old arcade game back in like the 80s.
Okay, so why in the fuck is anybody even listening, you dumb fuck?
Today we're looking at the best settings for the Modern Warfare 3 campaign that has just dropped in early access for all pre-orders. It is a campaign, so we can afford to lose a bit of FPS to keep some of that eye candy, make it as immersive as possible. We're starting off in the display area with display mode. You've got two options here you can pick from. Full screen borderless and full screen exclusive are the ones you should be picking between. You definitely don't want to use a windowed mode. In theory, full screen exclusive should be the best option. It should give you the lowest input latency, but in this game, I'm really seeing that borderless, especially for the campaign, still works just as fine. It does allow you a bit quicker alt-tabbing if you want to quickly check something over on another monitor as well. So honestly, pick your poison. Exclusive for better latency, borderless for more flexibility. Display monitor and adapter just need to be set to the correct monitor and GPU. This should be done by default. Screen refresh rate and display resolution, if you've got borderless selected, you won't be able to set these. If you do, however, have full screen exclusive set, just make sure that these are set to the correct refresh rate of your monitor as well as the resolution of your monitor. For me, I'm sticking with borderless full screen, so it sets these by default. Then aspect ratio, once again, you should be able to set this to automatic. For most people, that's going to be a 16:9 aspect ratio, but if you are playing on a widescreen or ultra-wide monitor, then you will need to have one of these ones selected. It should cover it off on automatic. If you see any weird aspect ratio issues, you can change it in here. For VSync, make sure it's set to off. Yes, it does help with screen tearing, especially on some of the lower refresh rate monitors, but it adds a hell of a lot of input latency to your game turning this on, so I'd highly recommend avoiding it. For your custom frame rate limit, I would recommend you leave this at custom and then click show more. You can put your gameplay custom frame rate limit all the way up to the max. Just max it out, get the max you can out of the campaign, so you're not limiting yourself in any way. But then for the menu, you can leave this at something like 120 is what I've got it set at. This just keeps your menu running nice and smooth, but not maxing out your system. When you're sat in a menu, there's just no reason to be doing that. And then the out of focus custom frame rate limit, I leave this at 30. This means that if I do alt tab out the game to do something else over here, my system can calm down a little bit because it's actually only rendering the game at 30 FPS rather than the 300 or 120 it would do if I didn't have this set. If you do get any hitching or stuttering or weird loading of textures inside of the campaign, come here and restart the shaders preloading. When you do click this, you'll get that shader install thing that opens up in the top left. Just wait for that to complete back to 100%, and that can help alleviate some of those issues if your shaders have corrupted. Yeah, you can do that here. For your display gamma, if you're on a monitor, so playing on PC most of the time, then you want to have this set to 2.2 sRGB. However, if you do have yourself linked up to a TV, you might find that the overall gamma is better running with 2.4. So pick whichever one suits your setup. For your brightness, it's going to be personal preference, but I'd recommend that you ignore the guidelines here, especially this barely visible one. If I was to follow this with my eyes, I would have it somewhere around 48. However, you should always go from that value and add on about 6 or 7. It really helps brighten up certain really dark areas of the game where you might just not spot enemies, even in the campaign, and it overall just increases the visibility. So for me, going from 48, I would probably come up to somewhere around 55 as a very nice brightness for the game. Constrain mouse to game window. Because I'm playing on borderless full screen, you can actually see that my mouse does go off the screen. So if I wanted to, I could turn this on, and then when I apply, I can no longer get my mouse off the screen. This can be helpful if you happen to see your mouse going off screen. I haven't seen any problems in-game running this on or off, so for simplicity, when I'm in the menus, I do keep this off. Focus mode, you can leave this off for sure. Then NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, you either want this set to on or on plus boost. The choice of which one you pick is dependent on your GPU and CPU setup. If you think you've got a much stronger GPU in your system than a CPU, you need to select on plus boost. However, if your CPU and your GPU are very close to each other, or even maybe your CPU is stronger than your GPU, then you want to set this to on. In my example, I've got very, very similar power in both of my components, so I find that on is the best bet. The last setting in the display area is high dynamic range, or HDR. I'll be honest, I haven't played around with this too much to do any testing of it. I always recommend keeping this off for multiplayer, but for the campaign, if you have a good HDR monitor or TV, feel free to turn this on and experiment with it and see if it looks good for you. Currently, I haven't really got my settings dialed in to allow for good high dynamic range visuals, so I leave it off, and that's what I would recommend if you just want to go in and keep it as simple as possible. Moving on to the quality tab, the graphic preset, you can just leave it at whatever. It will change itself automatically as we move down the list. Render resolution, leave this at 100. We can use upscaling and sharpening in just a sec to cover any problems we have in terms of needing to gain FPS back. We do not want to lower our render resolution. Dynamic resolution, kind of in a similar vein to render resolution, you do not need to turn this on. What this would do by turning it on is it would try and maintain a specific FPS value by constantly varying the resolution in different bits of the game. So a really intense scenario would drop the resolution down. I just don't recommend this in general. It makes the game's resolution go all over the place, and you can only really use this if you know exactly what you're doing. I would not recommend it. For your upscaling and sharpening, there's actually 3 different options that I will recommend to you based on how strong your hardware is and actually what hardware you've got in your system. So the first scenario is where you've got nice, strong hardware that is running the game really nicely, and you just want to make the game look even better. For this, you need to select Fidelity FX Cast. This is just a sharpening method that makes the game look that little bit more crisp overall. It just really sharpens up the game really nicely. I like running 75 cast strength. I feel like anything else is a bit too overly sharp, but it is personal preference, so play around with this value and see what you like the most. Then, if you're in a scenario where actually you're struggling with FPS, then I would recommend that you either run NVIDIA DLSS or AMD FSR 2.1. These are both upscaling methods which will actually gain you a nice amount of FPS for very little degradation to quality. DLSS is only available to NVIDIA users, whilst AMD FSR 2.1 is available to NVIDIA and AMD users. So even though this one says AMD, it's available for everyone. It's open source. When you select these, I would recommend you then click Show More, and you can bring the sharpness to whatever value looks best to you, but just make sure your preset is at the highest quality setting. For DLSS, that's quality, whereas for FSR 2.1, it is ultra quality. So just select the highest quality setting. Should gain you a few FPS and help the game run a bit better whilst keeping the game looking pretty much just as good as it did running at native resolution. Moving on to VRAM scale target, I haven't had enough time to really delve into how this affects the game. I'm going to wait until multiplayer comes out to delve into how this can help the game run a bit better whilst keeping the game looking pretty much quality setting. Should gain you, but just make sure your preset is at the highest quality setting. It's open source. When you select these, I would recommend you then click Show More, which will actually gain you a nice amount of FPS for very little degradation to quality. DLSS is only available to NVIDIA users, whilst AMD FSR 2.1 is available to NVIDIA and AMD users. So even though this one says AMD, it's available for everyone. It's open source. When you select these, I would recommend you then click Show More, and you can bring the sharpness to whatever value looks best to you, but just make sure your preset is at the highest quality setting. For DLSS, that's quality, whereas for FSR 2.1, it is ultra quality. So just select the highest quality setting. Should gain you a few FPS and help the game run a bit better whilst keeping the game looking SS or AMD FSR 2.1. These are both upscaling methods which will actually gain you a nice amount of FPS for very little degradation to quality. DLSS is only available to NVIDIA users, whilst AMD sharpens up the game really nicely. I like running 75 cast strength. I feel like anything else is a bit too overly sharp, but it is personal preference, so play around with this value and see what you like the most. Then, if you're in a scenario where actually you're struggling with FPS, then I would recommend that you either run NVIDIA DLSS or quality, whereas for FSR 2.1, how this affects the game, I'm going to wait until multiplayer comes out to delve.
Shut up. Diamond, shut up.
delve into how this can really affect performance, hitching. It turned out in Modern Warfare 2 that turning this down actually helped with hitching and stuttering. However, because we're focused on the campaign here and the tiny bits of performance gain aren't going to mean too much, I would just recommend leaving this at the default value for now. Don't play around with it just yet until we've done a bit more testing for it. Variable rate shading, I'd recommend most people turn off for the campaign, purely because it says it's a low visual cost to improve performance, but we really don't need to be taking into account any visual cost when we're playing the campaign. We want it to look nice, and this is a setting that really won't gain us much performance that we care about in a campaign. For your texture resolution, it's very simple. I want you to put this to the highest value. Look at your estimated VRAM usage and just check that you haven't maxed out to the target. As long as you're below that, you can jack this texture resolution right up and make your game look incredible. If you do find that you've gone over the target down here, just lower this value one by one until you come back under in a campaign. For your texture resolution, it's very simple. I want you to put this to the highest value. Look at your estimated VRAM usage and just check that you haven't maxed out to the target. As long as you're below that, you can jack this texture resolution right up and make your game look incredible. If you do find that you've gone over the target down here, just lower this value one by one until you come back under that target value. Texture filter anisotropic, you can keep this maxed out. I even recommend you max this out for multiplayer because it has no effect on performance and it just really improves how textures look overall. So it's a golden setting to keep on high. Depth of field is kind of personal preference. In multiplayer, I say definitely keep it off, but in campaign, you might think it makes the game look a bit more cinematic. It doesn't affect performance really, so it's completely personal preference. I'd say keep it off. Detail quality level, once again, I would leave this on high. It has very little effect on performance, especially in the campaign, and you want to be as immersed as possible. You don't want bits of bushes disappearing, so keep it on high. For particle resolution, I wouldn't recommend maxing this out. There's a lot of explosions and fire that happen naturally within the campaign levels, and that can degrade performance quite substantially, and that depends on this particle resolution. Honestly, low particle resolution still looks very good for all of those kind of quick explosions and fire that's going off around you, so low would be my recommendation here. Bullet impacts, I like to leave these on because they look cool, to be honest. They don't have any effect on performance, but once again adds to the immersion that you gain from the campaign. And then for persistent effects, I would also recommend you leave these on for the campaign. This is kind of similar to bullet impacts, except this is to do with explosions and fire that are going off and the marks that it leaves on surfaces when they happen. Once again, it all adds to immersion. It does have a bit more effect on performance, so you can turn this off if you want to gain a little bit of performance back. But I just love the immersion you get from keeping this on. For shader quality, you either want to put this on low or medium. Medium will look a ton better. You start getting way more realistic lighting, a little bit of reflection quality in there as well, but it does come at the cost of FPS. So if you have a decent enough system to do it, put this up to medium. However, if you do need to gain some FPS back when you do your kind of benchmarking, you play through your first couple of levels, bring this down to low. It will help your performance out a lot. On-demand texture streaming, definitely keep this off. We don't need to download high-quality textures and this kind of stuff and download it to 32 gigabyte of your hard drive. It's not necessary. Don't bother with it. Keep it off. And then for your local texture streaming quality, just leave this at normal. Shadow quality, I wouldn't put this anywhere higher than normal. I just don't actually see any visual difference going up from high to ultra. It almost looks like the shadows just move location a little bit, but don't look any better, and it does cost more performance. I think normal is the best quality shadows you get. If you do need to gain a little bit of FPS, coming down to low does gain you some nice FPS without making the shadows look terrible. I would never recommend using very low shadows. They look absolutely horrendous, and you should only select this if you are running on a potato, unfortunately. So I'm going to keep this at normal. Screen space shadows, you can put these on high. They don't have too much of an effect on performance, especially when it comes to the campaign. And it just adds some more realistic level of shadows to the gun that you're holding, so you don't feel that disconnect between your character and the gun and the actual area you're in. Once again, adds to that immersion, perfect for the campaign. For ambient occlusion, I'd just recommend you keep this off. Having it turned on does give you some more immersive shadows, especially when you've got these objects that are very close to each other, these dark areas, but you really don't notice it with the pace that you're running through the campaign at. It's such a small detail, and ambient occlusion also does affect performance quite a substantial amount for how little it seems like it's doing. So I'd recommend you keep that one off. Screen space reflections, I would actually recommend you turn these on to normal. Having nice reflections is very immersive as you run around the levels in the campaign, so it's really nice to have these on. For static reflection quality, however, you can just leave this at low. It has a decent amount of effect on VRAM, and you're really not gaining much from turning it up to high, as you can see here. You're not going to be standing looking in a mirror at any point in the game, so it's just not worth it. The last bit of the quality tab begins with tessellation. For the campaign, I'd recommend you turn this on to near. This is going to add some of this tessellation, so you can see how the ground on the left here is just this flat, unrealistic bit of floor, but over here it actually looks a bit more realistic, a bit more immersive, which is really nice for the campaign. And you don't really need to go to all, you just need the bits that are near to you, the bits which you can actually see in more detail where tessellation is being applied to. Terrain memory, just leave this on max. I've tested between min, medium and max, and I really don't see much of a difference in the campaign levels, so I just leave it on the max value. Maybe in multiplayer or in Warzone, we will see more variation as we go between these values. Volumetric quality, I hate to say it, but I'm still going to recommend you keep this on low. Volumetric quality, volumetric fog, light leaks, all this kind of stuff is so costly on your system. It does make the game look a bit cooler, but it's unnecessary, even in a campaign. So I'd recommend you keep these on low. You're not turning them off, they're still there, but you're saving as much FPS as possible. Deferred physics quality, which is all to do with the quality of the water, I would put this on low. There's a decent amount of water in the game, and making it look a bit better is nice for the campaign. So low physics quality. Weather grid volumes, the quality of weather effects applied to dynamic objects. There's a decent amount of rainy bits in this game, and I recommend putting this on low, just to add a little bit more immersion to the game. Last thing, water quality. I would put this to water caustics and wave wetness. Once again, make the water look nice, add to the immersion of the game. It all adds to just how nice the campaign feels as you play it. The last tab is the view area. We've got the field of view, which is a bit of personal preference. I would recommend you play at least 110. That's just me coming from roots of playing other FPS games and wanting as much information on screen as possible. I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice playing anywhere below 100 because you're just missing out on so much of the visual amazingness that is on your screen. So honestly, if you haven't gone up to 110 or even 120 yet, please do it. You will not regret it. ADS field of view, it's going to be personal preference in the campaign. I think affected looks better because you don't have as much of that kind of visual recoil, and the view doesn't zoom in as much every time you ADS. It kind of stays a bit more zoomed out while you're playing. Just feels a lot better. It's not immersive. It's annoying. Third-person camera movement won't affect the campaign, but you may as well put it on least already. Need to dial in for the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. What I'd recommend you do next is watch this video for the best NVIDIA control panel settings that are going to get your game running at just even more incredible levels of performance. So yeah, go and watch this one next.
Good hook. Let's get up top.
Oh yeah, look at the graphics on here, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
All teams, Alpha's on the X. What's your status?
Bravo's over the DZ.
Charlie standing by.
Nods on, strobes on.
Keep it quiet.
Bravo is inbound.
Solid copy. Move to set. Drop him.
Bravo inbound.
All teams, Bravo's on deck. Push it up. Alpha to Charlie, you set? Affirm. All teams green to go in phase 2. Check. Roger.
What in the hell? Get off my computer, Raven. Go.
Moving interior. All clear.
Descending stairwell, south side.
All shooters be advised, enemies launching an attack bird. Copy. Go ahead. Charlie, go for distraction. Roger.
Targets in the windows.
Bunch of windows!
Clear. 2-1. Rally at the hatch for entry. Waiting on you at the hatch, 2-1. Entry point is the hatch by the seam, Alpha.
Enemies incoming. Get on the ground.
On me.
Bro. Alpha's in the tunnels. What's your status? Outside the control room, waiting on you. Copy. At the air duct. Stand by.
All teams, let's roll thunder. Bravo, pull the plug.
Roger. Blackout in 3, 2, 1. Execute. All teams, Bravo's got the keys. Copy. Target the guards only. Use the inmates for cover when we kick off the riot. Roger, guards only. Clear. More in the cell blocks left side. Smoke them.
Bravo, kick off the riot.
Roger. Opening blocks 1 through 4. Clear. Check the next cell block. Alpha 2-1, check the cell block guards and light them up. Stay sharp. Guards know where we are. Bravo, open cell blocks to level 2.
Drop them.
Trophy.
Let's go.
Open.
Drop them.
Trophy.
Let's go.
Open. Contact. Clear.
Block is clear. Heading down.
Watch your shot, 2-1. Watch your shot, 2-1. Alpha 1 to Bravo 1. Open 55T. Check.
Alpha moving to sub-level X4.
This way, 2-1. Keep it tight. Watch your shots, 2-1. Dead prisoners can't riot. On
Contact. Clear.
Alpha moving on sub-level. Let's get our guy.
Ready, breach?
Breacher up.
Let's get it, baby. Ooh, look who it is.
Alpha's on target,
It's the
stand
man
by.
himself.
Flare.
Look at him just kicking it in there.
Step
in the
into the
dark,
light.
smoking.
Сколько ж времени прошло, Ваня?
All stations PID on 627.
Copy. Opening 627.
What a life indeed.
Железный план.
Любой план зависит от его выполнения. Это только начало.
Lay down.
All teams, we have him. Moving in 30. Для меня это большая честь, командир Макаров.
6 лет,
22 дня, 4 часа.
браток. Рад видеть вас обоих. Тебя тоже.
Что вы добились в этой камере?
Это только верхушка айсберга. All stations, this is your commander, Vladimir Makarov. Call sign Tsar 90 actual.
Vladimir Murkov.
I have the con. Move to phase 3. Out. On me.
Out of my way
Vanya.
before I kill all of you.
I trust the exfil plan is intact.
Так точно, командир. We head up the elevator
Get out of
and
the way.
walk out the front.
What are you doing?
Probably be in position on the other side.
I'm
Хорошо.
first. Get out of the way,
Чем проще,
Murkov.
тем
Who
лучше.
the hell you think you are? I'm running
До
the
поры
show.
до времени.
Get out of the way. What the hell are you doing, boy? What I tell you? You don't fire what I tell you to fire, boy. Yeah, that's what I thought. You think you bad now, what? Yeah, let daddy take care of him. Now watch out.
Andrei, gear up and
Out
let's
of the
move.
way. Oh, no way. Trash. Trash.
Хорошо. Чем проще,
These
тем
guys are
лучше.
in the way, that's what happened.
До поры до времени.
Taking in the way, homeboy. You haven't.
Contact. Let's go. Один шкафчиков.
Ooh-wee. I don't know what the hell happened, boy. Uh-oh. 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 What happened
Clear.
there, folks?
Alpha 2 1 to Charlie. Actual
Shaw,
secure, we're
baby,
moving to exfil.
shaw.
Приготовиться.
Roger. Standing by.
Shine, you know how I do it. Get out of the way, motherfucker. I'm the hall.
Alpha 1 ascending an elevator, actual secure. Prep for exfil. How copy?
All stations, top side is hot. Top side is hot. Troops in
Look at the
contact.
smirk on his face.
Copy,
He's
stand
bad,
by.
like he about to shoot everybody.
Охрана блокирует Браво наверху. Задерживаем вертолет.
English.
Скоро поднимутся зэки,
What are they saying?
чтобы отвлечь охрану.
They're plotting behind us, guys. Watch these.
Это наш
two.
шанс. Задержка увеличит риск.
Look at this cocksucker.
Андрей, who holds power in this gulag? The
What?
guards or the prisoners?
The prisoners.
Yes, Андрей. That's why the guards need guns. Молодец, воин. Покажите это своими действиями.
get it, boys.
Some noise.
All stations, we got an MC Nest active on the watchtower.
It's Arthur Raptor, requesting immediate fire on the courtyard tower. How copy?
Roger that. Rest is inbound. Craft on the ground. Target acquired. Danger close.
Copy, rain fire.
Let air support handle that.
Play with me, boys. I got something for you.
Shots out. Shots out. Box 2. Direct. Target destroyed.
Get to the tunnel, that's our exit.
They don't even know, boys.
Heads up! The enemy helo is overhead.
But, should have taken it out when you had the chance. Don't worry, it's focused on the prisoners.
Contact, helipad. Helipad is hot.
We've got them on the run. Молодцы!
Let's get the tunnel down and get off the edge. Get to the tunnel for extraction.
Leave no prisoners.
All troops to the tunnel now!
We're clear. Let's go. Charlie, we're coming to you now. Get down.
This way!
Freeze down.
Clear everybody! Let's go!
Fuck, which way? Can't kill it. Where in the hell?
We're coming to you now. Get down.
This way!
Freeze down.
Clear everybody! Let's go!
Coming to you now. Get down.
Cover! This way!
Freeze down.
Clear everybody! Let's go!
Charlie was supposed to handle that helo.
If it was a problem, you should have dealt with it. Follow the cliffside to the water. Our boats will provide covering fire.
Shooters on the wall.
Ignore them! Get to the boat! Андрей, давай! Я держу!
Командир!
Давай, давай, давай!
Пронесло! Мы ваши должники, командир!
Тут нет должников. Есть только преданность. Непоколебимая преданность.
Turn us around! Turn us around now!
Shadow 2. In my possession. Stand by.
Roger that, Kilo.
We're good to go?
So far.
Roger that.
دينا فرح أمك منيحة؟ هي قوية مثلك. يلا. عملت كل شي طلبتيه. حويتك مأمنة والمرسق فاضي، ما في حدا غيرنا. والمينا؟ مسكر من امبارح. منيح. فرح. أنا ما خصني بس. قوليلي. هالهاوية أكيد كتير مهمة. أكيد. بعد كل هالسنين صارت أوزبكستان سالمة. نحن عم نعيش حياتنا. ترجاكي اعملي كل شي بوجهدك. نضل هيك. نحن كلنا معك. ايه أكيد. حويتك موجودة دينا!
Echo 3-1. Troops in contact. Kilo's vehicle is down. I say again, troops in the open, taking effective fire from multiple locations. Copy that. Hold your position. Shadow 01 to Kilo. Do you read me? Kilo, Vera, do you copy?
This is Kilo. We were ambushed. Dina is KIA.
It's Coney. They're everywhere, Commander.
The missiles. They're going for the missiles.
We can't let them do that, Vera.
I need weapons.
Look for containers with the Shadow insignia. They'll have what you need to fight Coney. That gear gives you an edge, but there's still an army of Coney between you and those missiles.
I will not allow Coney to steal these missiles, whatever it takes.
We're gonna need a contingency. Commander, I have GPS trackers on my ship. You plant those on the missiles, we'll never lose visual.
I still need to locate the containers. Dina would have known where to find them.
Shipping manifest would be in the Harbor Master's office.
The tower.
Affirmative.
Copy that. They have an active JLTV.
Stay out of sight, or gear up to engage. Coney's coming for you, Farah. We need the GPS trackers off the boat and the manifest from the tower, Kilo. Be advised, Cody's on high alert. They're coming for you.
Heading to the ship. Ascender cable.
sweeping the area. Stay quiet.
Shadow's cargo ship is still in port.
Do you see any of my people?
Negative.
Not what I wanted to hear. Can't let these missiles slip away. We need the manifest and the trackers.
Graves, your ship's filled with Coney guards.
Good takedown, Kilo. Look for manifests in the tower building. Trackers are on the ship. Let's get moving.
On deck.
The trackers should be in the control room on the bridge. GPS should be there somewhere. Coney's looking for missiles, not trackers. Think you're made, Kilo.
Trackers must be around here!
Go to the bridge. Check for the trackers in the control room. Good kill, Kilo. Stay out of sight. Coney's on the hunt.
Trackers must be nearby.
The trackers should be in the control room on the bridge.
If the GPS trackers are on the bridge, I'm close.
Trackers won't be hidden. Should be easy to spot.
Be advised, Coney left no one alive on your ship.
Let's make sure they get what's coming to them.
We won't let their sacrifice be in vain.
Hit them for both of us, Farah. They should be out in the open. Maybe on a table. Trackers won't be hidden. Should be easy to spot.
Half the dead are Dina's workers. Kazakhstan was free of violence like this. Coney brought it back.
Peace through strength, Farah. It's in your fault. Check the table. Probably right there.
GPS trackers in hand.
Great. Now get to the tower and grab that manifest. There's enemy fire. Don't search blind for the containers. Find that manifest. Coney's on the hunt. Watch your ass out there.
Kilo to Shadow. Coney found one of our containers. They're taking it now.
Damn it. That's one missile gone for good. Only 2 left.
If the missiles are all headed to the same
Damn
location,
beauty.
let's get them.
Yeah, Kilo. You're right. Sounds like they found you. Manifest should tell us exactly where those containers are.
This is pretty fun. They actually got the plates, like we usually, like 3 plate. Right now I only have a 2 plate. We got a sentry gun. We carry 2 guns apart. Look, here's another one. Do I get? Oh, I do. See, now I got 3 plates. Hell yeah. Look at this shit. This shit is sweet. The movement is so much better.
Approaching the tower!
It's crazy, dude.
Watch your ass. They'll alert the whole damn fort.
I think I killed my guy.
Sat him the fuck down. Come on now, let's get that manifest before Coney does.
In the tower!
Search Dina's office, 3rd floor. Manifest might be there.
Woohoo! Got an ammo box now, baby. I'm just getting all kinds of shit. What's that? Ooh,
Is
that
a cruise missile usually necessary?
You tell me.
Shit's so much fun. You gotta buy this game for show. I'm telling you. This is first time I played it, I got first. Got it on video. Alright, so 3rd floor.
They're hunting for you. Stay low.
Your stuff. Come on, boy. How do I get up there?
Have eyes on gantries.
They're still running. They're automated.
Here we go, baby.
3rd floor.
Daddy work.
Heading to the main office.
That's
Check
right.
around the desk. Manifest could be on it.
Nice. Yeah, chat. Where's my phone? Watch Daddy work this shit. Alright. Now, watch Watch me work this knife.
Tony's coming for you, Farah.
Oh. Damn it. I can't believe I messed that up, chat. Let's try again. Oh, I can carry 4 knives. Then. Oh, an explosive big dish, baby. Oh my goodness.
They're looking for
Say
you.
no more.
Keep it quiet.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I tell you. What the hell we got going on here? Really, I didn't find anything. What am I missing here?
Think you're made, Kilo?
Just like that, huh?
Stay out of sight. Coney's on the hunt.
Oh, baby, where you at? Man, hard to get. Shit, RTK though. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Huh? There it is. Look at there. There it is, chat.
I found the manifest, Graves. Graves, sending you the info from the manifest.
What do we
Got
here?
it. Cross-referencing with our container numbers. Okay. Got all 3 container numbers and
Oh, I
locations.
fucks with this.
Only 2.
Right. 2. Goddamn. Ultra-nationalists.
Tell me where to go. I'll plant the trackers on the 2 remaining.
Roger that. Let's get to it. Check the cranes. They may be loading another one of those containers now.
Copy. I'll check high and low and find both.
Sounds like they found you. Thing a damn beauty.
Trash. Hold still. Yeah. What up? Leia?
Good attack, Farah. Without those trackers, we're never gonna see those missiles again. Keep pressing, Kilo.
Oh, where'd that come from? Those bots miss. There it is. Oh. Headshot.
Good kill, Kilo.
Oh, headshot from somewhere.
Keep at it, Farah. We can't let Coney leave without a way to track those missiles. Farah, get out of there!
Plant them. Where am I supposed to plant them? On the missile containers.
They're looking for you. Keep it quiet.
Going for a missile container.
There's more shadow containers with gear.
Grab the bomb drone.
Flying C4. Be careful with that one. It means business.
Moving to container! Found a shadow container I can access.
Ours extends our go-to port of call in this region. Take what suits you.
What will I owe you, Graves? I pay my debts.
Not a thing. I want these bastards eradicated, much as you do.
Lovely.
Eyes on the second container. More phone.
There's enemy fire! Reinforcements incoming. Second one's still unmarked. Get to it. Plant that tracker, Kilo. Step it up. They're hunting for you. Stay low.
Eyes on the first missile container. All stations, last tracker on. Coney's leaving with both the missiles.
Solid copy. You did what needed to be done, Vera. Make sure you do the rest.
Echo, how copy?
Loud and clear, Farah. Cody's pulling up stakes. They got what they wanted.
We live to fight another day. It's not over.
I go to Kilo. You clear?
All clear. Press up.
Roger. Coming your way.
سامحيني يا دينا. رح خليهم يدفعوا من بوعدك.
Commander?
Our missiles were meant to be a deterrent. Peace through strength.
It always finds its way back to this place.
It never left.
Russia wants this country.
They can't have it.
What's next?
Tracking those containers.
I'm coming with you.
No. Take care of our KIA and alert our forces. Tell them Russia's back in Urzikstan.
Shadow Company's got us get in the game. They're gonna want a piece of this.
True.
There's someone else I have to contact first.
Милена,
С возвращением, Владимир.
ты создала для нас армию.
Дело выгодное и правое.
My comrades, we stand reunited! For your efforts in my absence and our success today, I offer you praise. И наказание. Иван, из-за того, что ты отверг мой план, мы потеряли драгоценное время. Время решает все.
Командир, я принял правильное решение.
Каждый несет ответственности за свои ошибки. Андрей, ты доказал свою преданность. Теперь ты моя правая рука.
Спасибо, командир.
My fellow warriors, I wasn't here, but I was always with you. Since then, our enemies have grown stronger. The ULF has stolen back control of Urzikstan. The time has come for us to show them the meaning of true power. This is a battle of perception. A lie flies while the truth only grows. If you control what people believe, you control the world. This is our weapon. And we will use it as a tool of war to restore glory to Russia. The real Russia! The West, they love their choices. They will have only one. To respond on our terms. Каждая секунда на счету.
When Makarov escaped, he mobilized his army on multiple fronts. Kony group hit the Urzikstan port before sunrise. Farah was there.
She hurt?
Negative. Her team engaged, took casualties. Left Kony with a kill count of her own.
Good on you, Farah. What'd they get from the port?
A shipment of American missiles.
Kony's got their own missiles. What does Makarov want these for?
We need to find out. I'm tracking them now. Once I get a fix, we'll action it.
You said multiple fronts, Laswell. Give us a target.
Kony forces are converging on a nuclear power plant in Urzikstan as we speak.
Is the plant active?
Abandoned when the ULF beat Barkov.
Then what's there?
All four of you, as soon as you can.
Rog, Ghost and I'll recce the plant. Soap and gas secure the perimeter. If Makarov's going nuclear, we'll stop him in his tracks.
Solid copy. Let's get after it, Bravo. 1 minute! Tight! Quake's good to go! That's our gear on the ground if we need it. We will. Ramp! Seconds! Right, pull altitude is 2,000 AGL. Calm it close! That's how we do. Roger up at a rally point. Shut! Stand by. Go!
Watcher 1 to Bravo, ISR is overhead. Be advised, Kony has 3 helos on the ground, locations marked with orange smoke.
Extract points for the nuclear material.
Affirmative. These helos are your primary targets. Destroy them and we can keep this threat contained.